One of the most abundant summer vegetables is the zucchini, and it's actually quite healthy and really versatile too. So today I'm going to share a quick video on one of my favorite summer zucchini recipes, and it's got a secret ingredient. Are you ready? Let's get started. When you think of summer, you probably don't think about soup. But soup can be a really wonderful option, especially if you make a lighter, healthier version like we're going to do today. So I've assembled some ingredients for us to use. In this bowl, I've chopped up a large zucchini into quarter moons, and I've taken a half of a very large sweet onion, and I also roughly chopped that up. You don't have to worry too much about the size because in the end, it's all going to be blended. We'll also need some broth. This is a 32-ounce carton of vegetable broth. You could also use chicken broth. Mine today is a lower sodium kind. I also have about a half a cup of flat leaf Italian parsley that I've chopped up, 2 cloves of garlic. I just peeled them, they're whole, the juice of half a lemon freshly squeezed, some salt and pepper. And what's the secret ingredient? It's actually about a quarter cup of raw cashews. Yes, that's right, raw cashews. You'll be amazed at what they add to the creaminess of this soup. So why don't I grab a pot and let's put this whole thing together. We start by taking our zucchini and onions and we just place them all into a large pot. This pot is probably even a little bit bigger than it needs to be, but that's fine. Now we take our broth and we pour enough to start to cover the zucchini and onions. If you want the soup to be a little more runny, then you could cover it quite a bit. Let me grab a spoon. But if you prefer your soup a little bit thicker, then you just want to cover it. And that'll be about this 32-ounce carton. I'll just save a little bit for later, maybe to add in if it seems a little bit too thick. You take your 2 cloves of garlic, just dump them right in. Take your cashews right inside. Everything just gets mixed into one pot. I like to salt and pepper right away. Now, I used a lower sodium broth, but that might be where we really want to adjust, right? Our seasoning. So we put in a little bit of salt, and we're also going to add some freshly ground black pepper. And you know, I've said this before that I grew up in an Italian kitchen. So for a lot of things like spices, it's just really, we eyeball it and taste it later. And that's it for now. We're going to take this pot and put it on the stove and we're going to bring it up to a boil. So meet me over by my stove. So I placed the zucchini and onions and broth mixture on the stove on a medium-high heat, and now I've allowed it to come up to a boil. So what I'll do is lower my heat to something closer to a simmer, and then I'll take my lid and place it on top. You could leave a little steam vent if you want to. And now all we need to do is let this simmer until everything is soft. And because we have cashews in there, we need to let it go a little longer. So about 15 or 20 minutes, and then we'll check back. So now that everything is softened to my liking, I'm going to add the juice from half of a lemon and my chopped flat leaf Italian parsley and just stir that together. We add that at the very end because we really don't want to cook it along with the other vegetables. There's two ways now to turn this into a creamy zucchini soup. One option is to use what's called an immersion blender, And so that's where you plug it in and you place it right in. I don't prefer this method for this soup because of the cashews. So I'm going to use my favorite appliance, my trusty Vitamix blender. And if you want to use your blender, just make sure that it's something that can handle the heat of putting in something like a hot soup. So give me a minute. I'm going to transfer this soup into the blender, and then I'll show you how we blend it all up. So the blender has done its job, and now we have this beautiful, creamy zucchini soup, but we're not quite done yet. Now, if this is to your liking consistency wise, that's fine. I actually like it a little bit thicker. So I'm going to jump back over to the stove. I'm going to put it on a very low simmer, and I'm going to let it reduce for a while before we call it a day. And here we go. I let that simmer for about 10 minutes or so, and I adjusted my seasonings. I added a little more salt and pepper. And now all we're ready to do is to taste. Oh boy. You know what's so good about this? It's the creaminess that you get right away, but there's that little bit of tang and freshness from the lemon juice and the parsley. It's a really wonderful, light summer tasting soup. And what do I like to have alongside? These are my Wasa gluten-free crisp breads. So you can have any type of a cracker or something crunchy alongside. I think that's the perfect complement to this meal. So there you have it. That's creamy zucchini soup. I hope you'll try it. I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you really soon.